Life on the road is an adventure like no other. It's a journey that's unique, exhilarating, challenging, and rewarding all at once. Life on the road can be hard. You're always at the mercy of the elements around us. The sun, the rain, the snow, the wind, each one ready to change your plans in an instant. The road is an unpredictable journey littered with unforeseen challenges. But it's also stripped of the clutter and complexity of a stationary life. We're left with what truly matters. There is no set timetable on the road, no 9-to-5 grind, no rat race, and within the seeming chaos, there lies a profound simplicity. The road offers no space for excess baggage. And when you're travelling on the road, it's not uncommon to be alone. Often solitude is misconstrued as a state of desolation, a condition to be avoided. Yet, on the road it's not about loneliness, it's about finding liberty in solitude. It's a liberty that allows us to break free from the chains of societal expectations and external judgments, and determining just who we are, without the pressure to be someone we aren't. It's only when you're truly alone that you get the opportunity to look at yourself inside the mirror, and realize that you are who you are. There's a certain freedom that comes with being alone. It's the freedom to really be you. As I awoke that morning, the remnants of my homesickness still clung to me like the morning dew on a cobweb. It was an unexpected moment, one that had swept me as fiercely as the Arctic winds outside my tent. However, with dawn came a renewed sense of excitement, a reminder of the journey that lay ahead. I rode with the back end of the sky, a peculiar shade of grey. The wind howled through the barren landscape, carrying with it the promise of an unforgiving day. Soon enough, I had finally arrived at the Arctic Circle Centre. The centre felt quite eerie. Its typical annual footfall of 200,000 visitors was seemingly absent during my visit. The once bustling cafe and gift store were now silent, and yet, despite its emptiness, there was a certain magic to the place. The open space felt endless, stretching out towards the horizon with not a soul in sight. And yet, despite its emptiness, there was a certain magic to the place. I feel better after a little rest. I thought we'd just quickly walk up to the monument before we crack on with the day. So this is where we currently are. This is the Nordic Arctic Circle Centre. I'm a little out of breath. And this is where we're heading into the storm. Oh goodness. Aren't people weird? It's like a graveyard of travels. Oh, a true testament to the amount of people that come here every single year. This is the starting line. We are at the start of the Arctic. Okay. This is very exciting. It's very cold. I dried my gloves off though, so at least that's something. Just can't catch my breath. It's just, I don't know if it's because the air is dry or what, but whew. So yeah, I just want to take a moment and just really appreciate the fact that I'm sitting on the Arctic line. I think I'm going to go to the beach next year, I'm not going to lie. I just want to take a little moment and just really appreciate before the storm comes tumbling in that we are on the Arctic line. We are here at the start of the journey. We are 1,000 kilometers away from the end of the road. Other than that, okay, well, we have a long day ahead of us. We've got another 6 hours of riding, but I feel a bit more upbeat, a bit more energized after this. I didn't even realize I was crossing the line up until I saw like a sign to like 2 kilometers back, and it's like, you're about to reach the Arctic. I was like, wait, I got a second. I thought the Arctic was at the top of Norway, not halfway through Norway. But it's good. It's the little achievement I needed to keep me going and give me that second wave. And now we have it. So let's jump on the bike. Got a long day ahead of us. So yeah, oh gosh. Right, to the bike we go. As I left the Arctic Circle Centre, I received an emergency weather alert. The forecast was grim. The worst day of the storm was on its way. My heart sank a little bit, and I knew I had to prepare. I decided it was best to wrap up my exploration by 4 PM at the latest and call it an early day. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love a good adventure, but I had developed some sort of common sense over the last few years, and I decided it was best to head into a campsite instead of wild camping. And I'll be honest, the thought of a hot shower was pretty appealing too. And honestly, I was pretty okay with that. After all, the Arctic Circle isn't going anywhere, and neither was I. And unfortunately, whilst I wasn't going anywhere, everyone else was, and the campsite was empty. I sat around waiting for 2 hours for someone to show up. After waiting for some time, I finally managed to get in contact with the campsite owner via the telephone. I explained that I wanted to stay, but I couldn't find anywhere to pay. She told me that the campsite was open, however she was reluctant to travel over with the weather coming in. She told me to go ahead and set up my tent Instead, she gave me all the access codes for the showers and the washing machine so that I could dry all my clothes off, as well as telling me where all of the charging ports were around the campsite. And lastly, she advised to place my tent directly next to the building for extra shelter and told me to wrap up warm. The storm was coming in, she said, and even Norwegians would not be going outside. We were finally here, the very heart of the storm, and I knew that after this point it would only get better. But that didn't make it any less scary, and I sat in my tent for the rest of the evening, wondering if I'd be flooded or not.
So last night I went to check into the campsite, and basically you have to phone a number because it's not a manned campsite. And I said, hey, I'm here to check in. What do I do? And she's like, oh, okay, you here with a camper van? I'm like, no, here with a tent. And she's like, what? I'm like, I'm here with a tent. And she's like, but it's storm season. I'm like, yeah, here with a tent. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, clearly not, Sonia. I'm camping in Norway in winter. Clearly I'm not okay. Just give me the camping spot.
I woke up that morning greeted by clear skies. The rainfall was so heavy it was as if the earth itself had been washed clean. It was as if Mother Nature had said today was the day everything would have a fresh start, washing away the dust and the grime of the past. The air smelt just like damp earth, and everything sparkled with water droplets. And although I was a little tired, I felt fresh and I felt alive. But above all that, I felt ready for a hot meal and a hot shower.
This one was completely my fault.